What if Nigeria didn't exist? Not Nigeria collapsed or Nigeria took a break, but Nigeria was never there at all. No over 230 million people, no green, white, green, no Lagos traffic, no Jollof wars. Just a noticeable Nigeria-shaped gap on the map of Africa. At first glance, some might shrug and say, okay, Africa would still be there. But the truth is, remove Nigeria and the continent and the world quietly but profoundly changes. So today, let's run a thought experiment, not to criticize, not to romanticize, but to understand what the world would miss if Nigeria never existed. And trust me, it's a lot. First, the map looks wrong. Let's start visually. Without Nigeria, West Africa immediately feels incomplete. The familiar curve of the Gulf of Guinea loses one of its anchors. Suddenly, there is no giant holding the region together. No country bridging Francophone and Anglophone Africa so naturally. Nigeria isn't just another country on the map. It's the geographic and demographic spine of West Africa. Without it, regional trade routes weaken, cultural exchanges shrink, and political balance shifts dramatically. West Africa without Nigeria would be quieter, less crowded, less energetic, and yes, less influential. Africa's population story changes completely. Now, let's talk people. Nigeria is Africa's most populous country and one of the fastest growing populations on earth. Remove Nigeria and Africa loses over 1/6 of its population instantly. That changes everything. Global conversations about Africa's future, its workforce, its markets, innovation hubs, and cultural influence would sound very different. Africa's demographic advantage would be smaller, less urgent, less powerful. Nigeria provides the continent with scale. Scale in ideas, scale in labor, scale in ambition. Without Nigeria, Africa's voice on the global stage becomes softer. The economic shock wave. Nigeria is not just a country, it's an economic engine. It has one of the largest economies in Africa. And whether booming or struggling, Nigeria moves markets simply by existing. From oil and gas to fintech, agriculture to entertainment, Nigeria drives regional commerce. Without Nigeria, West Africa's economy shrinks drastically. Regional trade blocs lose momentum. Foreign investment interest cools. Innovation hubs develop slower. Nigeria's economy doesn't just serve Nigerians. It pulls neighboring countries upward. It creates demand, opportunity, and competition. Without that pull, Africa's economic gravity weakens. No Nigeria means no Nollywood. Now, let's talk culture, because this is where the absence becomes painfully obvious. No Nigeria means no Nollywood. No industry that produces thousands of films a year. No movies that shaped African storytelling. No characters that felt like home across the continent. Before streaming platforms noticed Africa, Nollywood was already there, telling stories in living rooms from Accra to Nairobi, London to Toronto. Without Nollywood, African stories would take much longer to go global. representation in media would lag behind. Millions of creatives would never find a platform. Nollywood didn't just entertain, it validated African narratives, and the world would be poorer without them. Afrobeats simply wouldn't be the same. Let's be honest, a world without Nigeria is a world without the heartbeat of modern African music. Afrobeats, as the world knows it today, is deeply Nigerian at its core. From rhythm to language, swagger to storytelling, Nigeria shaped the sound before the world danced to it. Without Nigeria, no global Afrobeat explosion, fewer African artists on global charts, less cultural confidence exported through sound. Music is soft power, and Nigeria has wielded it masterfully. From local clubs to global stadiums, Nigerian artists didn't just entertain, they redefined Africa's cool. Take Nigeria away, and global pop culture feels quieter. Fashion loses its boldness. Nigeria doesn't do subtle when it comes to fashion. From Ankara to Ashoke to Isiago, streetwear to luxury couture, Nigerian designers bring color, confidence, and fearlessness to global fashion. Without Nigeria, African fashion trends spread slower. Fewer bold aesthetics dominate runways. Traditional fabrics receive less global attention. Nigeria's fashion scene tells the world that African style isn't background, it's center stage. Remove Nigeria, and fashion loses a loud, unapologetic voice. Food. Let's talk about the food. Now, imagine a world without Nigerian food. No jollof debates, no suya smoke in the air, no egusi, no puff puff, no pepper soup. Beyond the humor, Nigerian cuisine introduced the world to bold flavors, communal eating, and unapologetic spice. It influenced West African food culture and carried African cuisine into global cities. Without Nigerian food, African cuisine gains less international recognition. Food culture loses heat, literally and figuratively. Diaspora identity feels less connected. A world without Nigerian food is frankly a blander one. Diplomacy without Nigeria is different. Nigeria has been a major diplomatic force in Africa, leading peacekeeping missions, mediating conflicts, and shaping regional policies. Without Nigeria, African Union dynamics change. Peacekeeping missions lose manpower and leadership. West Africa becomes politically fragmented. Nigeria often acts as a regional stabilizer, even when dealing with its own internal challenges. Remove Nigeria, and Africa's diplomatic backbone weakens. The diaspora would feel smaller. Nigerians abroad are everywhere, and they're loud about it. In tech, medicine, academia, sports, entertainment, and entrepreneurship, Nigerians have left an undeniable global footprint. Without Nigeria, Silicon Valley loses innovators, hospitals lose doctors, universities lose scholars, sports lose elite talent. The Nigerian diaspora didn't just assimilate, they excelled. Without them, global excellence looks noticeably thinner. Innovation slows down. Nigeria thrives on problem solving. From mobile banking innovations to logistics solutions built for chaos, Nigerian ingenuity thrives in difficult environments. Many solutions now used across Africa were born out of Nigerian necessity. Without Nigeria, African tech ecosystems mature slower. Fewer scalable solutions emerge. Innovation lacks urgency. Nigeria's challenges forced creativity, and that creativity benefited the continent. Africa's confidence takes a hit. Here's the part people don't always notice. Nigeria is loud, confident, unapologetic. That confidence, sometimes chaotic, sometimes controversial, has helped Africa assert itself globally. Nigeria refuses invincibility. Without Nigeria, Africa becomes more cautious, less confrontational on global issues, slower to demand attention. Nigeria reminds the world that Africa doesn't need permission to exist boldly. So, what would the world be like? A world without Nigeria wouldn't collapse, but it would be less vibrant, less creative, less influential, less African. Nigeria's presence isn't just about numbers or headlines. It's about energy. The energy to create, the energy to argue, the energy to push forward despite obstacles. Nigeria doesn't just exist in the world, it moves it. So the next time someone asks, what if Nigeria didn't exist? The answer is simple. The world would still turn, Africa would still rise, but something essential would be missing. A voice, a rhythm, a fire. And once you imagine a world without Nigeria, you realize how impossible it really is.